working deep. They was laughing when I said I cried. Now they watching every move with surprise. Pain turned purpose, every scar is a die. Had to learn patience just to master the climb. I was praying for the strength, not the fame. Had to walk through the fire just to carry the flame. Every setback just a setup in disguise. Got building something bigger in my life. I don't move off pressure, I move off belief. Even when the road gets rough underneath, slow growth, still growth. That's the logic. Every small win turning into a profit. They only see the shine when it finally appears. They don't see the battles, they don't see the tears, but the vision stayed alive in the darkness. Now the world gotta watch when the spark hits. Oh, trust the process. I ain't rushing the plan. God wrote the steps, I'm just walking the land. They see the glow, but they don't know the stress. I stay 10 toes, now the grind getting blessed. Trust the process.
You gotta trust that process, baby. Because I tell you, this week was a beast. And when you trust the process and you go through what you need to go through, you just become a winner. That's what we're talking about tonight. How we can be winners in the midst of all type of adversities, unnecessary struggles, and all that. So we really thank you all for being here tonight. We're going to get right into the podcast. Welcome to Scales to Success, LLC TV with Dr. Darina Shine. We are talking about moral integrity all over the world. I mean, this week has been so profound for me, from certification, accreditation, to motivation, and even to being inspired by others and the things that they did to hold me back. You know, many people have probably witnessed this week, where maybe a collaboration of people have tried their best to prevent you from believing in who you are. But I'm here to let you know that tonight we about to bust that bubble, baby, because there is so much greatness within who you are. And I want you to always remember that. Welcome TikTok. I see you moving over there. Welcome Facebook. Welcome everyone. And we have our media personality in the background getting all that stuff started for us. Javier, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. And we'll be right with you. So it didn't stream, right?
Can I access the specific channel stream key?
It's because
if it's there may be a problem connecting to the server. So the server's running from one account, so you can't do it simultaneously.
Yeah, we can't do it. Okay.
But
so this one is the one that is.
I'm sorry. It's recording though.
Okay, it's recording. Okay, perfect. So we're gonna get right into it. So let's get the cameras situated over here. So can you go over there, turn the camera facing this way, and then bring it to us over here. Yeah, I'm gonna say right here. Okay, guys, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. We are really gonna get this together soon. Okay. Who's in the chat with us tonight? And then I'm going to turn this down a little bit. Okay. There it goes. That opposite. Okay, you got it? Okay. So tonight we're talking about trust the process. Javier, you know what the process was for us this week, huh? What you feel? What you think?
Great.
I know that's right. I'm going to get my readers on in a minute, but welcome everyone. We're getting everything situated here. So come on in. That's why we like to start a little bit early. So that way we are right on time. So even though Facebook desktop is not running, This is running.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And it's recording.
All right. Welcome, Darina Shine. And those who follow Darina Shine on Facebook, welcome everyone who is here right now. I can't really see the timer or the list of people. Do you see?
Yes, Sweet Pea joined.
Hey, Sweet Pea. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here with us tonight. We're going to get right into the podcast, Trusting Inner Processing. Man, to trust your inner version of who you are when people are trying to defame you, trying to humiliate you, and devalue who you are. That is a powerful step into being and growing into that powerful inner higher version of yourself. And it was so amazing this week, Javier, how I was thrown into a very uncompromising situation within the health industry. And I had no idea how I was going to maintain or make it work. But let me tell you, by the end of the week, when everyone had shut down for the weekend, I was still moving, motivating, inspiring, making my phone calls and trying to figure out what to do next. And guess what? The Most High gave me the very next thing I needed to do in order to make life work, just until those who decided to want to come back to work decided to come back to work. So I'm just super excited about myself. But during that process, I was not prepared. I wasn't prepared. I was not confident. I only became confident when I stood up and said, I only have me at this moment. So what am I going to do? I'm not going to fail. And then I went right into higher vibrational frequency mode. And that's what trusting the inner process means. Javier, do you have any concepts to talk about tonight?
So far, I'm still thinking. I'm gathering my own summary. There's a few people who've joined.
Welcome everyone on TikTok and live. Darina Shine, Dr. Darina Shine, and Scales to Success LLC TV. We are recording as well, and we'll be uploading this podcast right after we are done with this live. So we're trusting the inner process. So let's get started. First thing I want to share tonight, I'm gonna put my readers on now, is the concepts of what does it mean to trust the inner version of yourself?
So 3 value points. Number 1 is reduces overthinking.
Okay, to trust in yourself is going to reduce overthinking, and that's what I normally do under the auspice of stress and triggers. I will overthink. I will try to compensate when I don't need to. So what I learned this week is to make sure that I value me first, being at peace, honoring the Most High, and doing just what matters the most. And I remember I contacted one of my colleagues, and my colleague told me, shout out to James, he said, just do the best you can do for that person. You know, you may not have the right answers, but you know you're going to do the next moral thing in order to make sure that everything works until someone can be available. It's just like as if we were in a school or a university and all the professors left, the students, they all just walked out, and the students had control over every area of the university or the high school. Could you imagine what would happen? And that's why the trust in inner self, in the process of processing how you're going to handle certain things. Some of us may never have even imagined that we would even go through something like, courageous as many of us have gone through. But we make it. And that's what I found. We make it. Okay, number 2.
So number 2 is it enhances emotional well-being.
Enhancing emotional well-being for me. When people go quiet on you, it wants to, what's that? No, it doesn't. Okay.
So we're good.
So what it does is it wants to, people want to quiet us down. They want to mark us and quiet us to the point where we just got a situation over here on TikTok. I guess we're not the only authentic. We're running streams all over the place, but we'll just keep going and we'll record and then just update it.
One thing I want to say, thank you, Paulette and Robert, for staying in the chat and still here with us and learning.
Yes.
So, yeah, thank you for that.
Awesome. So when people go quiet on you, they want to see how you're going to fail. You don't know that if you are trusting your process or not. You don't know if this is going to be valuable to you. You don't even know if you have what it takes. But yet, if you just believe in yourself and you trust that inner process, then what's going to happen is you're going to find that you're going to be enough. You're going to find that you're going to find the strength within you in order to make something out of the scenario. And that's what I found to be profound when it came down to how the engagement of just believing in me this week. And I mean, it was powerful, y'all. I mean, to the point where it was more or less a life or death situation, possibly, potentially. But somehow or another, I just said, you know what? I can't back down now. I can't back out now. If I do that, then it could get worse. So what I chose to do was just believe in me and just continue to get better at whatever I had to face. So knowing self, when things go quiet, and not engaging in the negativity at all, that is the structure. That's the structure. And number 3.
And I feel like this one really matches what you just said, because it says gives greater ability to manage uncertainty.
Ooh, looking at that uncertain moment where, oh my God, just like a new driver on the road, you know what I'm saying? You don't know if you're going to have to swerve fast and you're unexperienced or inexperienced, that uncertainty. If you don't hold a sense and an ounce of confidence, everything can go left. You have to believe in you. You have to know that you have the power within to continue to move and motivate yourself to a degree that no one can take that away from you. Not someone who is trying to put you in a position to make you think, oh my God, I have no confidence in myself right now. So what am I going to do? No, you get up, you stand up, you have faith in your higher power, and God will make you understand exactly what to do next. And that's the thing. I've been having a relationship with God all 7 days. For the last 7 days, I have been committed to knowing that I didn't have the answers within me. The answers came from the Most High within me. You see what I'm saying? And it was something that man tried to strip away from me. They were trying to keep my low vibrational confidence down so that I wouldn't be able to believe in myself enough to rise higher enough to get to the God source to listen. So non-engaging was the key today. Staying in my lane as well. See, some people take titles and they use and abuse that title, and they feel that, oh, because I'm making X amount of dollars, I'm the God of this title. But God will strip that title right before your eyes, and everyone around you will see that the title you took and you didn't deserve it. You didn't earn it. So staying in our lane during this time, very valuable piece. What do you think?
I feel like those are three great valuable points. You know, I feel like honestly that's the best advice I've heard all week.
Well, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate you. So anyone have anything to say?
Demetrius joined.
Hey, Demetrius, welcome. Thank you so much for being in this live. Are you trusting your inner process? Are you trusting in everything that makes you who you are to get you through certain scenarios in life? That's what I want to know. If you want to interact with the chat, please feel free to drop that in the chat. Awesome. So let's move to our next slide. Oh, it doesn't matter.
That's great.
As long as they're sticking and staying, that's what matters. So what's next? What do we have now?
One, how to reduce mental spiraling.
Oh, yeah. I was literally mentally spiraling. When people put me in a position that I was uncomfortable with, I'm making phone calls to people who I felt had the credentials to do what they knew they needed to do. They weren't able to do it. They weren't able to connect with me. And miscommunication is the biggest fault when it comes down to the process of how we portray the statement. Again, could you say it one more time?
How to reduce mental spiraling.
Yeah, that spiral. Stay in your lane and be who you are. Absolutely. Don't ever forget who you are in the midst of that spiral, because man can deceive you. Man can portray that they're going to align you into a certain strategy, and you may have the credentials, the certification, but you may not have the experience. And in that's when they catch you up. And the next thing you know, you're doing something unethical. You're doing something outside of the range of your title. And then that's when they grab you. That's when they tell you, oh, you misappropriated. You frauded your title. You frauded your ability to do this or to do that. That's why documentation, if you don't document it, it never happens. Also, all of a sudden I made a quote this week, and I said, well, if I'm in hell, I might as well enjoy it. So you think about it. If someone is trying to force you into hell, why would you just allow them to put you there? You know, I mean, if you're going to be in a state where you have no idea of what's going to happen, and they're bringing you to their place of hell, why not enjoy it? If you keep the control of the uncertainty behind why you're going to do what you're going to do, you are always in control. And I'm not talking about control of someone else. I'm not talking about narcissism. I'm not talking about any of those elated terms, gaslighting, flying monkeys. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about being in control of who you are for your own sake. Your own sake. And that's what this uncertainty is about. So
number one, how to reduce mental spiraling. Weigh the pros and cons of stress levels and provide clarity.
The balance, weighing the pros and cons. And that's what we have to do when we're being doubted. Just like we just had a TikTok situation that said that we were duplicating what?
We were reduplicating videos, but it just went away because I filled it.
Okay, reduplicating videos. No, we're not.
Mm-hmm.
No, we're not. Absolutely, we're not. We may be duplicating them on different streams, but that's okay. We're allowed to do that. Especially if the lives are being covered at a certain time. Okay? Now, watch how people respond to the concepts of how you handle yourself. And that's something that we just experienced. And it says again, let me see here.
Reread the first one.
Yes, the first one. The way and the pros and cons.
Mm-hmm.
That is electing to say, I'm going to control how I handle what comes my way. See, one thing about control and about matching energy is that there's no reason to match energy. That's the difference between respect and attention. We just talked about that. Respect is what we have as a legendary aspect. So these people are going to believe in who we are because of what we represent. But if you're just doing something for attention, now you're getting on local internet, streaming, crazy stuff, and they're watching you. People are watching you. And this is what's going down in your legacy. So it's very, very important to weigh the pros and cons of what creates your delusion or illusion or attraction or attention. Once we do that, there's so much power in that. What say you?
I absolutely agree. That makes absolute sense. And me, I'm a reasonable person. If I listen to advice and if it makes sense to me and if it's morally correct, I stick with it. So pretty much, I don't really have a rebuttal because what you're saying is absolutely the truth.
Yeah, I've been hearing that lately, that, you're absolutely right. But, a lot of times it's not about me being right. It's about, just the alignment in which we possess. We look at what matters, what really matters. And if it's right, then you're on the right path and everything's going to matter. Everything is going to make sense.
Right.
The way you handle your life, the way the decisions you make when you are in the midst of a situation. A lot of us lose the ability to make a conscious decision in the midst of a storm. And when we think about it, we say after it's hindsight, dang, I should have done this. If I had done that, then that would have never happened. You know what I mean? And this is what it means by, reducing the concepts of overthinking. You can't go back and change anything, but I guarantee you can work on it from this day forward. You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And this really works with the second and third one. So the second one is it saves energy.
Oh, you know what energy saving. When your battery dies on your cell phone and you need that cell phone for whatever you're going to do, whatever you need, making phone calls, communicating, or even doing just watching videos. When that phone gets into turn on energy saving mode, it's slowing it down. So it's not using so much energy. That is a powerful place to be when you're a human being and you slow it all the way down and you save your energy. There are people who will magnify and multiply the aggression to force you to use unnecessary energy.
Right.
Why would someone want to do that? Why not just everybody use energy for the good of humanity? Let's just make this work for everyone,
Right. But some people have their own vendettas and they choose to do what they want for their own selfish reasons.
Yeah.
And when you're selfish, there is no other person out in the world. It's me and what I want, basically.
Yeah, that's why I say if we're in hell, oh well, why should they be the ones having all the fun in hell? Go ahead if we're in hell.
No, I'm not going to HE double hockey stick.
No, I'm just saying if we're in their low vibrational frequency and they're playing their manipulative games with us anyway, why should we take it personal? I always took it personal. I always took it seriously. Like, don't play in my face. But what happens if I have a game and I know that you're trying to drag me to hell, I can play that game with you too.
Or you can save your energy, tell them you're wrong, and keep it moving.
And that's true.
Because this matches the third quote, which is deeper truthfulness.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, when you don't agree with something and you know it's not correct, you just gotta save your energy, gotta weigh the pros and cons of how much stress you gonna fight on this situation. And deep down, you already know what the truth is. So if the truth is the truth, then it's gonna always be the truth. If they telling a lie, you know they telling a lie. There's no reason to go to HELL with them on that lower vibration.
Absolutely correct.
At that specific point, you just gotta tell them, okay, that's your thought. You know, that's what you do. I ain't gonna take it personal because I got better things to do than worry about what you're doing.
Absolutely.
So you go ahead, be in your little heated playpen of sand, and I'll go over here in the air conditioning in a hot or in a cold bath. You know, I ain't gonna be in no HELL. You know,
and that's true. There's many people are feeling that right now, like you know, and when it comes down, and I said that to say that a lot of people will drag people to their low vibrational positioning, and a lot of us will show out in their faces. They will let you know, play all in your face, and you tell them that they're playing in your face and you don't like it. Now there's a confrontation. And that's true. But I have been from the old school, and I believe that if I feel that I'm being taken advantage of, I'm going to tell you I'm being taken advantage of, but many a times I'm going to play that role like as if I want you to believe that, I want you to think I don't know what you're doing because I have more of an option to do what's best for me at that point, especially if you don't know that I know. So ignorance sometimes is a good defense. Ignorance is a good defense when you know that someone's playing in your face. So that's just, you know, from the old school.
right.
But smile, even when you feel like you want to break down. And, you know, we're working on a full moon right now in Capricorn. And that thing is resonating with the bull. Not the bull, but the goat. And it's saying, let it go. Let things go. That's best for you. Even when you can win, and that's where you're coming from. When you can win and you got all the ammunition right in your corner and you could take it all out and just like, and just, you know, tell them exactly what it is. If you walk away, wow, that is so beautiful. The energy.
Sorry for interrupting.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
Yeah, but why waste energy on it? If you know the truth, then the truth is what's already out there.
Absolutely. Anybody got anything to say in the chat as we move forward?
They're still here with us.
Okay, let's move on to the next. Okay, now YouTube is moving. Thank you. There we go. So let's see what's going on over here.
All right, becoming comfortable with uncertainty.
Yeah, now, if I had a new to expect the unexpected, and I was told that many, many years ago, expect the unexpected. I would rather expect the, what word would I use? What word did you just use?
Becoming comfortable with uncertainty.
Expect the uncertain.
Mm-hmm.
If you can expect the uncertain, nobody can ever motivate you to become lower vibrational because they would never be able to tap into your essence. They would never be able to tap into the thing that they can no longer trigger. You see what I mean? So they just have to step back. So being real with self and learning more about that internal truth, that truth of processing, that is powerful. That is extremely powerful.
Absolutely. So here we have create your own moments of unpredictability. Trust in the moment to navigate the unknown with less fear, anxiety, and worry. Be flexible with set plans and flow with the circumstances when they unfold.
So let's break that down.
Well, basically, you want to create your own moments of unpredictability, meaning expect the unexpected, just like you said. Expect uncertainty. Expect someone to be how they look. You know.
To trigger. Expect someone to trigger you today. Expect someone to drive slow when you're trying to get to where you need to go because you should have left 15 minutes earlier if you really, really wanted to get there on time.
Mm-hmm.
Expect the
unexpected.
The unrealistic perspective is to expect that the world is going to be perfect.
No, it is not.
It's not perfect. Only you are the perfect one. How you handle the triggers in your life will determine how perfect your life will be. Your day will be. And what is that we talked about earlier? When it said to trust that inner process by what was it? The breaking down of communicating and making sure that you stay resilient, that you stay in control, powerful. You know, it's really hard for me to remember everything that I'm seeing on the screen because I can't read it verbatim, but expect the uncertainty. To try to evoke a response out of you, the uncertain person is going to sit back and they're gonna, what word is it? They're gonna qualify themselves to say, I wonder if I do that, what would that person do? It happens in relationships all the time. Think about it. That's why we have to be fearless. We have to love within whether that person does this, that, or whatever. How are you going to handle the person who cheats when you've given them your heart? Are you going to walk away and be done because that was a choice that they made because they chose to do what they wanted to do and you had more faith in them than you had in yourself? You loved them more than you loved yourself. And so then you're left with the remnants of their ideology of what relationship means to you. So now you trigger that into yourself and you blame yourself. You cheat, or you go out and you do whatever you do to get back. There goes that uncertainty. How are you going to handle whatever circumstances come your way? I remember telling people in relationships when I was in relationships and we were having our, highs and lows. I'm like, and they'll say, are you cheating? No, I'm a grown woman. If I want to cheat, I would just leave the relationship, go do what I need to do because I can be free. I'm not going to stay committed to something that does not serve my higher good. And so that's what it means by being fearless, by using that uncertainty to draw strength from and know that it's not always going to be perfect. What say you?
Absolutely, and I feel that's the most mature way to go about it. Even if the other person has moved on and you guys, have gotten separated, you shouldn't go badgering the other person because they decided to move on when you already have.
What was the name of that song that we were listening to today? And you said that sounded like a stalker move.
I think it was gonna,
it was a song from the 70s.
Yeah, he was talking about if you change your phone number, if you change your address I'm gonna be right
there. Like I'm still, no, if you got to change your address and your phone number, that means you don't want to be bothered with me. I'm good with that. Let's be flexible with it. I'm gonna go my way, you go your way.
Before it even gets to that, if you tell me no, it's no. All right.
Right. Be flexible with those plans. Can you reread that second one?
Right. So the second sentence was be flexible with set plans and flow with the circumstances when they unfold.
You just said it. If someone tells you no, it's no. Not I'm gonna make you love me. Like we were looking at Country Wayne today. I don't know if those of you who are in the chat likes Country Wayne. Well, he's an Atlantean comedian and he has these skits all on YouTube or whatever. You should go check him out. Shout out to Country Wayne. But there was a scenario where this girl named Libby refuses. Okay, she's married to Terry, but she refuses that the relationship is over. She will not accept it. This man has had to get a restraining order on the wife. She will not get a divorce. She will not sign the divorce papers. He got a whole baby and baby mama on the other side of town. She's hiding. The wife is hiding in the trunk of the vehicle. Now that's excessive.
Absolutely.
That is ridiculous. So being flexible with the uncertain situation is not I'm going to do whatever I need to do to get him back because I'm in control of my relationship and this man and this woman is going to love me. Sometimes you just have to be flexible with the uncertainty. What's the third statement?
Flow with the circumstances when they unfold.
What does that mean? I'm going to flow with what you want.
Or just be okay with it and just let it float on. If someone disagrees with what I agree with, all right, I'm going to let you do what you want, and I ain't going to let it ruin my day.
Right. That's why when that person on that phone told me the incapabilities of what I wasn't hearing her say to me, I wasn't hearing it because it didn't match with what I know my experiences has told me, my credentials has allowed me, and my study has presented for me. She does not know me. She doesn't know my credentials. She doesn't know anything. So for her to sit there and tell me that I'm not hearing her degrade me on a low vibrational level and I allow it, I just hung up, blocked. I'll never talk to her again. I don't even remember her last name, the first letter of her last name. But she helped me to get to where I needed to be, and I'm thankful for that because when she started talking, the unrealistic perspectives of what she does not know about me created the uncertainty that I had to be flexible with.
Right.
And it doesn't feel fair. It doesn't feel good when you're in the midst of that. But I'm here to let you know that if you stick with it, stick and stay, and continue to work on your better version of becoming who you are, I guarantee you, you're going to feel so much better. You're going to feel so great. So great.
Absolutely.
And what's the next one? No, I mean the fourth one.
Oh, that is the end of this slide.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'm just talking. I thought we had.
Do not worry. Okay, now it is time for the Q&A.
Q&A. Okay, live. Come on, we're gonna talk about it. Let's talk about it.
All right, we got 2 people in the chat. Let's get some word-ins on what you feel.
I'm sure there's more than 2. They come and go, but 2 stick and stay.
Mm-hmm.
So that's awesome. That's really great. So question number 1. What is question number 1?
Provide an example of a time when you had to unfold with the circumstances. Meaning, provide a time when you had to not roll with the punches, but float like a butterfly and sting like a bee.
I had to face my reality when I was trying to be my best at something. And like I said, I've had lives that has had over thousands of people in the chat at one time. So to have 2 people feels just that great to me. I mean, maybe if no one has ever had just two people in the chat, if the power of it all is to do it just like you got 100,000 in it, and eventually you will, because I've seen it. I've seen it happen. It literally has happened to me. So that perseverance helps empower me. What about you?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, welcome, Kent Wallace.
Hey now, Kent. How you feeling tonight? Welcome in the chat. Thank you so much. We're talking about that trust in the inner process of who you are and what makes you great. I know there's some great things that make all of us great. So don't ever let anyone talk you down or take what you're doing and make it less. When you are doing your ultimate best, you always will have a lot of people empowering you through the spiritual realms of life. It may not happen on the physical at this moment because everybody's not where you want it, where you're supposed to be. Everybody's not where you are. But it's what you do and what you say at the time you say it. And then 5 or 10 years later, somebody sits back and looks at a video you've done. And then before you know it, it becomes a monitoring connection that people really fall in place with. And they say, well, if I had heard of this 10 years ago, but God, they said this 10 years ago. You know, we talked about respect and attention. The difference between attention is that it happens for the moment, but respect goes for decades and legends and generations, okay? Look at Aristotle. Look at Imhotep. Look at all of the philosophers that have said what they've said 20, 30, 50 years ago, and we're still quoting them today in universities and high schools. These are things that I want you to really, really take attention to because it's that perseverance that means everything. What say you?
Absolutely.
That's it?
I mean, I agree.
That's it?
I agree.
Give me an example of what you agree with.
I agree that, let's see. I agree that even older, like you said, philosophers and older sayings hold true today. I mean, even the kindergarten, bricks and sticks may break my bones, but words will never harm me. I mean, even things like that, they're still useful in today's world, you know?
Yeah.
So that's why I say I agree. Every single thing someone says, if it's informational, it's educational. You know, so.
Yes.
So
Okay.
number 2, why does trusting the process require wasting so much time?
Why does trusting the process require wasting so much time? Because we got to get it right. And the universe is only going to give us what we're ready for. When we're ready, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. So the student has to recognize and realize that they are interested in this, that, or whatever. Once you realize where you want to be in life, everything will align. It's just like that bandwagon perspective. You can watch the bandwagon, and if you play too long, you look up and the bandwagon is so far away you can't catch up to it.
Right.
So perseverance is one of the greatest attributes of that statement, of that question.
Absolutely. Same thing goes as staying on focus and staying on point.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you're there to do something, you go ahead and finish doing it. It's like being in school, right? And you're in school for a particularly hard subject, or you have to take a hard course. You shouldn't go fooling around and horsing around because you're there to do a certain thing. So you got to study in order to help your education. And another thing is fooling around with other people won't help you, and it won't help them either. So at the end of the day, your education is all towards you.
Yeah.
You know, so your education is beneficial to you. Your education is gonna help you in the long run. Like I've seen that with my GPA. I mean, at first I didn't take it seriously because I was looking at colleges or nothing. But I'm like, whoa, I gotta get into this college. I need a 3.0 or a 4.0. And I'm like, okay, let me up my grade up a little bit. I gotta get on this. So
because a lot of people don't realize the GPA system until it's too late. You caught it at a time where even though you are, playing around, you're a kid, you're just 16, 17, 15, 14. You can play around until high school, but all that is important.
Absolutely, especially if you want to work in the big leagues. That's why I'm like, if I want to become this famous, whatchamacallit, I'm have to prove my worth. I mean, even if you are good streetwise, even if you do have great knowledge and the skill, you have to show educational proof that you know what you're talking about.
Right.
You can't be a backyard mechanic and work on Maseratis.
Yeah.
If you don't, you gotta have a special license. You can't be a backyard electrician and work on a skyscraper or an elevator. You gotta know what you're doing. That's why we have courses. That's why I like your universal leadership course, because without that, I wouldn't know morality and leadership. Guys, you gotta really check that out.
Thank you.
You gotta really check that out because her leadership courses are absolutely beneficial. I mean, it was to the point to where I was younger. I was always a follower, Whatever someone else did, I did. Monkey see, monkey do. But once I took the time to look at that universal leadership course, ooh, man, I was like, wow, I could have been a leader. My own leader. I could have been making so many right decisions. But like you said, I caught it at the right time. So now I can literally sit back and say, I did that. And I feel grateful for that I did that,
Yes. And many a years, I put so much investment into documenting the leadership course. And nobody was listening. Because everybody wanted to do their own thing.
And that's crazy, because that's literally great information. And I took the chance to listen to it because it was at my fingertips. If you want to listen to it, you're going to listen to it. But if you just, like you said, playing around, you're going to be like, oh, I don't feel like listening to that. Why would I waste my time listening to that? But you got to want to.
Until you want it. Exactly. And nobody can push anybody into excelling to succeed in anything until they want it. And when they look back at their lives and they see the time that they wasted in the games that they played, they will probably, some will say, oh, well, let me use this as an excuse to stay, redundant for the remainder of this time, or, to just say, oh, the reason why I couldn't do it is because I had a kid, or because I got caught up in this, or this person left me, or whatever. They will always use an excuse, always. And I'm here to let you know that those excuses, when you're in the room by yourself and you're really, really looking at the pros and the cons. Remember, we talked about that earlier. Weighing the pros and the cons of the decisions that you've made to trust in your inner process, and you don't do it, it's going to hinder you. It's going to make you feel bad, but you don't stay there. You keep going. And you say, okay, be real. Call it out. Call it out. I am ashamed at what I did, but now I am who I am. Like, it made me feel so good that in the end of the week, after every door shut in my face, I never gave up. And I felt so proud of myself at the end. And that's what I want all those who are in the chat. I want you to remember that. Feel good about who you are, because anybody can take a person down, but it's what you do with that when you knock down, how you get back up. That's the most valuable thing.
That's basically the conclusion. And it literally wraps with the third question. Why is reaching the main point of a thought so stressful? It's just like finally catching up to the bandwagon. You're just like, wow, what do I do now? I don't know what to do. I went through all that effort to get here now, but I don't even really know what to do. You know, that's why the main point of a thought is so stressful. But at the same time, you gotta calm yourself. You gotta focus on the mission. What are you there for?
Yes.
Are you there to play around and lose track of the bandwagon, or are you there to get on and stay on? You know, and that makes absolute sense.
Yes, that bandwagon is a serious, serious thing. Because, like you said, are you going to sit back and blame the driver of the bandwagon who chose not to sit there and wait for you to get it right? Nah, growth and perseverance and patience. That is the ultimate key. That is the ultimate key. Yes. I'm sorry, guys. I forgot to put my phone on mute earlier when we started the podcast, but it's okay. It just goes to show that people are calling in, and tabula rasa might need something, or scales might need something. So,
and I hope y'all hungry, because this is y'all takeouts. Number one, the patience and processing are valuable. Number two, taking our time to understand the process. And number three, most importantly, give yourself credit in the end.
And that's the key. Giving myself the credit for what I did today or this week, it showed me that I'm stronger in mind than I even believed. Because don't forget, the beginning of the week, I had no confidence in myself, right? But when no one was there to answer that call, I stepped up to the leadership plate and I took the reins. And guess what? I did a beautiful, magnificent job. To the point so much now, I feel like, well, I might as well keep doing what I'm doing. If I need you, I'll call you. I don't need mercy. I don't need humility. I need abundance. I need awareness. I need health, wealth, and abundance. I don't need nobody showing me mercy when we should be showing it to ourselves. Being humble, but still standing up for what we need in our lives and not waiting on somebody. Because guess what? If that person don't answer that phone for you, are you just going to lay there because they didn't answer it or pray they answer? No. You get up and you make your life happen for you, and that's that perseverance. That's that perseverance. And it's about the fragmented pieces of what people want you to believe about yourself is unneeded, because pressure equals growth. And think about a diamond. What does a diamond do?
Under pressure.
Oh my. The harshest pressure that a diamond goes through becomes the most clarity, the clarity and the transparency. And that's what happens in life. So shout out to those who didn't answer my call this week, because what you helped me do is you helped me shut the doors that no longer serve my higher good and open hundreds of doors now, because now I can go and meet other people that I thought you were the only ones that had the answers to. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. And what's next? The takeaway is about the growth, the fruition, the strategies, the way things flows, and overall process. So I hope this has hit home for someone. I hope it has made sense, because it has for me. I didn't even know, I have been so busy all day long. But I decided to continue to do this podcast on the 15th and the 30th of every month, because I feel it's very good. It's in between the full moon's phase and the new moon phase, and what happens in that process. And I've seen so many situations that have taken place since Juneteenth until I can't believe what I've met in my mindset. I can't believe what I've found. I can't believe what I've observed in people. But one thing that I can believe is that I allowed myself to grow from it all and not become abandoned by somebody else's belief. Abandon my belief to become something that someone else wants me to become. What say you?
I feel like staying true to yourself and being true to yourself is the most important thing in this whole wide world. Because if you don't have your own identity, then who are you?
Yeah.
You can't be, and you most definitely can't be a people pleaser if you can't please yourself.
Mm, absolutely. What do you mean by that?
What I mean by that is, if you don't know how your own emotions are feeling or how you're feeling, how can you give advice to someone else?
Absolutely.
And that's my takeaway.
Yeah. So we thank you all so much for being here. Scales to Success LLC TV. We will be meeting again. Join us over at Tabula Rasa Inc. And we're on Facebook. We are also going to be doing some accreditation videos. That's coming up. I'm going to be talking to some of my individuals who are getting accredited. It's a journey that is only for the strong at heart. If you don't have power and strength within your heart, you will never be able to get certified under any credential here at Tabula Rasa, Scales to Success LLC, nor Universal Leadership. You will never be able to do it. So it's only for those who are strong enough to believe in who they are. So join us on the 15th, right here, Dr. Darina Shine, Scales to Success LLC TV, and we will see you soon. I'm going to let you take us out. And then I'm going to start out. Let me see.
All right.
That was a good one. That was a good one. Yeah. Hey.
Thank you, Paulette, for sticking it with us the whole entire live. Thank you. All right.